Hey guys, I want to welcome you and let you know how great it is to have you here for the Greater Purpose Podcast.
What's up?
Welcome to the Greater Purpose Podcast from the Cubs room. And even if you're a returning guest, you hear the cheering crowd in the background? The cheering crowd? You didn't know we could fit all in here.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
Isn't that amazing? That's so cool, yeah. We have a returning guest. I'm going to introduce him in just a minute. Before we do that, don't forget our sponsor, A+ Lawn Care and Landscaping in Gastonia since 1994.
You had the podcast that long?
Well, no, but he's been in business since 1994. Scott Sheehan, you know him?
Yeah.
He's not even that old.
Oh, no.
There's no way. Landscaping, tree care, lawn maintenance, land clearing, commercial pole light service, stump removal, accent and outdoor lighting, parking lot striping, irrigation systems. But wait, there's more. Garden center. Are you a hunter? Do you hunt?
No.
Okay, so you don't know what this is. Buck Yum trophy feed and Black Widow deer lures. That sounds like it'll do
I
the
do
job.
know what that stuff is because I deer hang out around my house.
Oh, okay. So
I'll lure them in to hang out.
Do you?
But not to kill them.
Oh, okay. You just want to watch them?
It's like I'm watching play. Those are my pets. Those are my old dogs.
Oh, that's cool. I do that with birds, but not deer. I don't want deer running around here. We just do birds. Deer. That's interesting. Okay. So, and Case 9s. Those are pretty cool. But they're at 1812 East Ozark Avenue in Gastonia. Or call today, 704-853-1107. We appreciate Scott for supporting the podcast. We appreciate everybody for supporting the podcast through the fundraiser that we had. You can also go to Coffee, K-O-F-I. We were talking about coffee earlier. That's a different kind of coffee. K-O-F-I. You can support the podcast there. We have the men's conference coming up April 26th from 1 to 4 p.m. This guy's going to be there. He's going to bring some faith and freedom stuff. We'll talk about that in just a minute. April 26th from 1 to 4 p.m. We've got a car show in the morning.
I get to bring my old car.
You can bring your old car. Yeah, just park it in there. Nobody will know the difference. I don't even have an old car.
I got one.
Mine died.
That'll be my first car show, my old car.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, you really got one?
Yeah.
Oh, you've got a classic.
1973 GMC Sprint.
Nice. Oh, there you go. How about that?
You don't even know what that is.
No, I don't.
Okay.
No. I mean, I do. I don't really. I mean, I remember the Gremlins and all that stuff.
You don't have a clue.
A Sprint. You know what an Ambassador is?
Yes.
The car?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I had a 72 Ambassador.
Wow.
Yeah, I trashed it too. Yeah, so if only I'd have known. I had a 72 Impala, and I didn't trash it, but I got rid of it. If I'd only known what it was worth, I would have kept it. So a Sprint. I remember a GMC, not a GMC.
GMC.
See, you thought I didn't know.
I said it earlier.
Oh, you did say GMC Sprint? No,
Yeah.
you didn't.
I did.
Okay, so that was like some.
What's it look like? Do you have any idea?
Probably green. Everything was green back in
Not
1972.
Not green.
No? Okay. What? All right. So
somebody watching today, put in the chat what you think a GMC
Okay.
Sprint is. Don't Google
it first.
Put in what is. Most people know it by another name. They know the Chevrolet version of it.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not. We might tell
Charger.
it at the end.
Charger.
No, it's not a Charger. It's a GMC Sprint.
But
it's the
version of the Charger.
the sister of the Chevy.
See?
But it's not the Charger.
I'll bet
It's not the Charger.
That's not the
No.
sister. Okay.
No.
All right. I feel like I'm being shamed here. I don't know what.
No, because you don't know. That's fine. A lot of people don't know, but they know the Chevy version. Everybody knows the Chevy version.
Okay. Well, I can start guessing, but yeah.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you.
He's holding back on us now. All right, that's great. So is it restored or is it a piece of junk?
Restored.
Okay,
I'll bring
it's restored.
it.
Okay.
You want to see if I can't even show you a picture. Well, I'll show you a picture.
Okay, good. Now I'm going to see.
Then you're going to tell what it is.
I won't tell him.
But
I won't tell anybody.
People are already going to be putting in the chat what it is. So
okay,
yeah, it's restored. It's ready to go.
Yeah, cool.
is ready to come to the men's conference and get a bunch of looks.
Yeah. And prizes, by the way. We're going to have something unusual. You guys,
Don't say what it is.
That's cool. Yes.
But you know the Chevy version.
Yeah. Okay. 2 words.
Yeah. Yep. 2 words. And I got another name for it. I posted it one day and said, "This is my Cybertruck."
Oh.
But that's my old version of it.
That's cool. I like that. That'd be nice.
Elon Musk Cybertruck. All right.
So for the car show, I know car show guys, it's all about the plaques and the trophies.
Yeah.
But we're going to have prizes.
Okay.
We're also going to have the top 3 is car, truck, and bike.
Oh.
Top 1 in each. Everybody's going to get top 3 in each category. Will get like a plaque or a certificate.
What's the categories? You know yet?
Just car, truck, which will include Jeeps, and then bikes.
So we can give a hint. I could maybe be in both of 2 categories.
See there? You could, but you can't win both. Okay. You can only win one or the other. But you'd have to win one, especially if you fit in 2.
Right.
That's cool. Hey, I didn't think about that. So yeah. But the top one in each category is going to get, along with a really nice trophy, is going to get a $75 Morgan's Bootery gift certificate.
Okay.
And a $30 gift card for Texas Roadhouse. See, now that's unusual. That you don't usually get that.
But are we going to have plaques and trophies too?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
I know you got to have those. I know that's what these guys.
You got to put that in your man cave.
Yeah,
the car.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That's what.
You can't put a Texas Roadhouse gift card.
No.
They don't give them back.
Right. You could frame it.
Yeah.
After you use it, and
they won't give it back.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, tell them you want
this
it back.
This is reloadable.
You got to win first.
Yeah.
You don't even know if you're going to win yet.
I'm going to win.
It's already won.
I'm going to win or I'm not coming back.
Paul Brintley. I do have you back.
Thank you, sir.
Might as well tell everybody who you are at this point.
I am Paul Brintley. I'm the leading found pastor of Fellowship Church, first of all. First of all, I'm a husband. First of all, I'm a godly man.
Right, there you go. Back up.
I'll rewind. But I'm a man of God, love the Lord Jesus Christ with all my heart. I have an awesome wife and a son, and I pastor Fellowship Church in Dallas.
Yep.
And I do a lot of traveling. My wife and I just got back from India in November.
Wow.
We're in Hyderabad, then we were in Poland and
in what?
Hyderabad, South India.
Oh wow.
And we were in Poland, Gdansk, Poland.
No way.
In January.
When you say ambassador, you really are ambassador.
I'm an ambassador.
There you go.
And I'm also the ambassador of the North Carolina Faith and Freedom.
Right. That's why I was kind of tying that in. So that was for church work, though.
That was church work.
Cool.
Yeah, that was not Faith and Freedom work.
Okay.
There are churches that I've planted around the world. There's 15 of them.
Nice. That's cool. International. So this should go international.
Yeah, we got to make sure we share it and tag people internationally that can look at
in other languages.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
So I
can speak a little Telugu and I'll speak a little Polish on here.
Telugu.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the Indian language.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Say something to them in Telugu.
I didn't have my ginkgo this morning.
Oh. I can't remember.
Telugu.
Ginkgo.
Yeah.
Never mind. Think of something.
We'll think of something later. You caught me off guard. Telugu. I'm thinking Polish. I got a lot of Creole speaking people in the church now, so I'm learning Creole.
Oh wow. Yeah. I barely know English, so I'm good. I'm stopping right there. I failed Spanish in high school, so
okay.
Well, they let me pass. I probably didn't really pass, but they let me pass just to get me out of there. So yeah, language is not my thing. So, but other languages are not my thing, I should say. So Paul Brintley was here back on the 6th. I looked it up on the 6th episode. That's crazy. Long time ago, almost 2 years ago.
Wow.
Seems like it was only yesterday.
Yeah, and now what number are we today?
Number 102.
102.
102.
102.
Sorry, correction. See, my wife told me to stop doing this. My executive producer said, stop telling him the name of the podcast. You get it wrong. 103, sorry. 102 was Jeff McNeely.
Okay.
Yeah, from up in Iroh County, one of our state representatives from up there. So 101 was Jordan Floyd. You know Jordan from VCA? No? You probably know him. You just don't know it. So anyway, so you're 103.
Okay.
So from number 6 to 103.
Wow, what a big jump.
Yes, I'm impressed. That's pretty cool.
You're doing a great job.
Keep it up. Well, this back then, I was ready to, you didn't know it at the time. I was ready to quit 6, 7, 8, right around in those episode areas. We had a lot of we bumped our heads up against a lot of stuff. And what I understand from other people who are professional podcasting people, like behind the scenes people, that's about when people give up. Somewhere around 7 or 8. They just quit. Yeah, if you go look it up, you have to find the name of the podcast, but you start looking it up, you'll find like 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 episodes of a podcast, and then all of a sudden it's gone.
Wow.
Yeah, people just quit. So, and I was, at the time, I asked a friend of mine who does podcasts up in Statesville, Isaiah Sanchez. He said, well, what podcast are you on now? And I was on like 13 or 14 at that point. He said, well, you're good then. He said, you're going to be okay. I'm like, okay, sure. Easy for him to say.
Wow.
But, you run into things, something new. I'm sure with you, with the church, with the new churches you're planting, you run into stuff, you bump your head up against stuff, and you feel like, why is this happening? Why am I even doing this? I don't know if you ever said that or not.
No, a lot of times you hit a plateau or a ceiling, and you just don't know how to break it.
Yeah.
The number one thing that I believe to do is find somebody that's already got over that hump. And you talk to them, hear how they were able to overcome that, and then that can help you along the way.
Right.
A lot of times people are like, I don't know how to get close to somebody that's famous or done a lot of great things in their life. But one way to do it is to read their books.
Yeah.
Or listen to their podcast. Yeah. You can become their friend and not even know it.
There you go. Yeah, you do, really. Honestly, I just got an email back from Dr. Dobson's people. I've met him twice. He doesn't know me, but I've met him twice. But I got that kind of feeling back from them. They're going to send something for the men's conference to give away. But from the person that contacted me back, we might have had a relationship with Dr. Dobson for 30-something years.
Right.
He doesn't know that, but this person was expressing, you know what I'm saying? So I agree.
That's what I teach that everywhere I go. Sure. That's the way to get that relationship and learn from them. And so overcoming that hurdle, which is 6 or 7 podcasts, whatever that number may be, in marriage, wherever you are, and you hit that ceiling, a plateau, find somebody that's already overcame it, and they'll get you over the hump.
Yeah. Plug away. So
get your breakthrough.
Yeah. Well, your breakthrough, exactly. And a lot of times it's because God's trying to teach us something.
Right.
Well, not a lot of times. He's always trying to teach us something.
It's always.
But those struggles, the difficulties, those kind of things, if we don't have those, then we don't persevere. So interesting. You say that making connection, because I met somebody in Calhoun, Georgia, a couple months ago. At one of the guys that was on my podcast, Gil Villatoro, my daughter's boyfriend. We went down to meet the family. Anyway, we went to church with him, and he introduced me to somebody at the church, a lady at the church, Pat. And I started to introduce myself. She said, "I know who you are. I watch your podcast." I'm like, "What?" Yeah. So it was like you said. It's kind of like a friendship. People get to know you and know about you. Do stuff like that. So
social media does the same thing. Follow somebody on social media that you want to be like, or you're impressed by what they're doing. Follow them, watch them, listen to them, and you establish a relationship.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't know if you know Benjamin Brown, but he's a young street preacher. Preaches to a lot of homeless people and stuff like that.
Was he at the conference last year?
Ben was there. I think he was there. He wasn't a speaker, but he was there. We need to get him to come speak one year, though. He'd be good. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he was there.
Okay.
But same kind of thing. Like you say, follow. Well, and this stuff on your Facebook. If you're following somebody, you kind of know what's going on. You feel connected to them. So when you see them again, it's not like, so what have you been doing for the last 2 years?
Right.
Kind of thing. So, or in some cases, since I see you, more frequently than some people, I already know what's kind of going on with you, and you can have conversations.
Absolutely,
so that's good. It's great way to stay
great tool.
Connected. Yeah, absolutely. So we were talking a little bit beforehand about faith and freedom, of course, but some of the names, some of the powerful names. I mean, these people are in some of the most powerful positions in the country right now, that are in the cabinet or working under President Trump right now. And I just wanted to kind of talk about the effect that faith and freedom has had on our country.
So Faith and Freedom is the largest in North Carolina. We're the largest voter education group in the state. We educate voters on who's running for office. And we also vet candidates. We find the great candidates, get behind them, and magnify their biblical worldview.
Right.
That's what we do. And so we have a conference where we celebrate what we've been doing all year called Salt and Light, which we get from Matthew 5. And during our Salt and Light conferences, we have had guest speakers. A lot of people that are famous come and speak.
Yeah.
Well, when President Trump just went in, I think he had been watching.
He cleared you out. Yeah.
Our conferences and just started handpicking people from our conference to be a speaker.
Yeah.
So instead, we've been talking behind the scenes. Instead of us paying all these thousands of dollars to have people come and speak, we're going to start telling them, come. And then you might get a cabinet position as a result of speaking at our conference. And that might help us with our budget. But we've had Pete Hegseth, probably the highest ranking one, the Secretary of Defense, right?
Yep.
Mike Huckabee is currently an ambassador to Israel.
Right.
Doug Collins has spoken at our event. He's spoken at our Bold and Courageous events as well. Tulsi Gabbard.
Yep.
We've also had Bo Hines. He's now the executive director on the President's Council. Dan Bishop, former Attorney General, right?
Yes.
He's also a part of the cabinet. So the list just goes on and on.
Yeah.
This year at Salt and Light, we're going to have Ben Carson.
Yeah. That'll be amazing.
He was on Trump's first term as the HUD secretary. So we'll have him and many other speakers.
Yeah. And you said, and then the person that said the prayer.
Yeah.
For the
Pastor Sowell.
At the inauguration.
Yeah. Lorenzo Sowell.
Yeah.
He is going to be a speaker. We're bringing also in Joe Concha off of Fox and Todd Starnes and many others. The list will go on.
Tell the date again. For
it's September 26th through the 28th, 3-day conference, Marion, North Carolina, foothills of Asheville. Before you get to Hickory, and Nebo Crossing Church is our host.
So amazing, just amazing speakers, amazing people. And that's inside and out. I do photography up there, so I mean a little bit of not self promotion, but I got to see the inside and the out last year, which was just to me totally amazing. And these people that come are godly people.
Yeah, we'll have over 1,000 people in attendance, Christians, believers.
Yep.
But what's interesting, what you're sharing is these godly speakers will have an opportunity to share their faith.
Right.
You'll hear people talk about getting baptized. You'll hear people talking about giving their life to Jesus and their Bible study. Yeah. And you would even imagine that these people are godly people. Yeah. You just see them on TV. Judge Janine Pirro, other individuals we've had in the past. That are amazing Christians. And people don't know that till they come to our conference. And then what our conference does, it empowers all these believers. We'll have over 1,000. And they will leave charged. Some will say, hey, I want to run for office. I want to get involved in politics. I want to go back to my church. Last year I was pushing, let's get people out of the pew and get them to the polls. And so we're going to do that again. And we don't want to fail in that.
Right.
We did great with this past election. And the next election, the midterms, we still need to get the people out of the pews and get them to the polls.
Right. Well, and the effect that the conference has on everybody that's there is hopefully a catalyst for that. Because, like you said, and that's one of the things I talked about before we started recording, was I get a little frustrated that we did the work. Now we think we're done, and that's just not the case.
Well, on the right, we've been more reactive.
Yeah.
And the left has been more proactive.
Yes.
And we need to change that narrative. Absolutely. Let's get ahead. Let's not be on defense and always defending what we believe, defending our values. No, let's go out there and say, this is what we believe.
Yeah.
These are our values, and this is how we're going to vote.
Yeah. Yeah. We can't just sit back and be quiet in between times. We've got to continue to be vocal and verbal and express our Christian values.
Yes. A biblical worldview.
Yeah. Which is what's happening. And if you listen to some of these names that you just mentioned, if you hear them being interviewed now, I don't know. I don't listen to any mainstream media, so I don't really care. I listen mainly to Fox. But if you listen to their words, because they're probably not going to play those parts on some of those others. I'm not even going to say their names. But on Fox, they're playing the entire interviews in many cases. And they're speaking, while they're speaking about amazing worldly things that they're in control of and that they're trying to help correct and balance and straighten out, they're speaking of their Christian faith.
Yeah, they speak before they get into talking about Ukraine. They'll say, I spent so much time in prayer this morning before I went into this cabinet meeting, or this Bible verse was on my heart and then I went into my cabinet meeting. And so a lot of times the people don't hear that.
Yeah. Which, hey, I think I'm not going to say everybody who watches this is saved, because we have given the plan of salvation many times. So you may or may not be. You don't have to be saved to watch this podcast. You may not be a Christian, but you've got to respect the Christian faith. I think I was an atheist until I was 26, but I still respected people that were Christians, and I expected there were a lot of things I respected about them, and it made me want to know more about them. So hopefully that draws them into. So even if they're, for some reason, they're not saved. But if you don't know Jesus Christ, you can.
You can, and we'll make sure you know him
before the
end of this broadcast.
Absolutely. Yep. So, all right. So Faith and Freedom's coming up this year. We'll try to put a link up there. But last year was a little crazy with the flooding. Not a little crazy, absolutely devastatingly crazy. So a lot of people don't know what you guys had to go through.
All those people I just listed were stuck with us in the mountains, in hotels with no power, no food, no cell service.
Yeah.
My wife and I were in a hotel just sitting there. The only light we had was the siren lights from the police cars directing traffic.
Wow.
In the highway. So
we were in the thick of it.
We were right in it. We were planning our conference. All the stars were there. All the setup was there. All the food was ordered. All the signage was there. All the musicians, everything was there. We did not know that Hurricane Helene was coming to Western North Carolina. We thought maybe a little bit of wind, maybe some rain, but never the devastation that we expected or we received. And we spent a lot of money, and we're in the process of trying to recoup some of that. We're also in the process of bringing some speakers back that we had already paid. But we got to pay for new speakers too, and a whole new lineup, all new food, but it was a blessing. I'll just speak on the food for a moment. All the food we had ordered, all of the setups of the tables, we were able to transform that venue from being an entertainment for the conference to being a host for FEMA.
Wow!
So FEMA took over Nebo Crossing,
That's cool.
And all of the trucks, helicopters, everything started coming in. So the water that you were going to be drinking at the conference, I saw first responders drinking the water, and then they gave it out to the community, and the food, and it just went on and on and on. So
are there do you or Jason have some videos and stuff of those on your Facebook and stuff like that?
There's on our Facebook, on the Faith and Freedom Facebook page. I'm there like the next day, and I show everybody. I show FEMA and what's happening, all of that.
I was following Jason's because it was still the debate about whether or not moving it, that kind of stuff. So I saw his updates, and then Craig was keeping me posted on stuff too. So I did not see yours. I need to go back and check.
Yeah, we can tag that in here. That'd be good.
Okay. Yeah, we'll put a link to that and to the conference for this year. Because I don't like the saying "we're in this together," because I think they overplayed it during COVID. I think they misused it during COVID, but it's true. We are in this together, and so we are in this together. We are in this together. We need to be supporting. Faith and Freedom Coalition does some amazing things that you people out there will never even realize that they do behind the scenes in specifically the political world. And without you and your organization, Ralph Reed, some of these others, we would not be in the situation we're in right now.
No, we literally knocked on 500,000 doors in North Carolina. This isn't worldwide or national. This is right here in North Carolina. Our coalition did that. We were instrumental in helping other coalitions throughout the country. I think there's over 30 of them that Ralph has started or planted. But Jason Williams and our team with Jim, we have
Jim Quick.
We have worked super hard. Jim leads our grassroots effort. So some people here watching, you probably knocked on doors for us, gave out the little door hangers and all of that. So we did a lot. We moved the needle, and that's what we want to do in the next election.
Yeah. And the way to do that is to continue to, this is not what this was for, but to continue to support your organization. And that is by attending, of course, and getting to know some of the people that are there and that are involved. And by the way, these guys they're not sitting in the back green room somewhere smoking a cigar and having a glass of wine. You wouldn't do that anyway at a Christian event, I hope. But You're not just sitting back eating cheeseburgers.
Right.
These guys are working the whole time.
Oh, it's a work.
Craig Collins,
Craig.
Jason.
Judge Craig Collins.
Judge Craig Collins.
My wife loves him.
He's amazing.
And she's like,
who
that's
doesn't
the
love him?
judge
I know.
working like that?
I'm serious.
I mean, he works harder than I do, I would say.
And everybody on your team. I mean, every time I turned around, I'm just taking pictures, which for me, that's work. But every time I turned around, it's like this group of people doing this, making this happen. Another group of people doing this, making this happen.
We have some awesome volunteers too. We have paid staff, but we have some awesome volunteers that jump in and lead the charge.
Yeah. And then I was at another event too that we had for Mark Harris that Jim was overseeing over there. And again, same thing. Everybody working hard, everybody doing their thing. So hey, you can be a volunteer.
Sure, absolutely.
You can donate online. We'll put the link up in the description for that, or be at the conference, or you could do all three.
Absolutely.
There's so many different ways you can help, and this is a continuation of what we work so hard to do. Now, listen, you may hate Trump, you may love Trump. I don't really care, but before he did more things for Christians than maybe even Reagan.
President. Right.
Reagan would have been the next one, but definitely more than anybody other than that, and probably more than Reagan. And he's already doing that again.
Absolutely.
And if you don't think that's important, even if you're an atheist, that is important.
It is.
Because your freedom goes away too.
Absolutely.
If a Christian's freedom goes away, everybody else's goes away too. And that's what they were trying to do in the previous term. I don't usually get too political on here, but I'm just going to put it out there like it is. So, because it's just the truth. So
this will probably be the number one podcast, because people that don't believe like us may be listening.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
but that's all right. We want to get to see. We want to sow as many seeds as we can. We know there's a lot of people that do believe like you and I do.
Yeah.
And there's some that oppose it or are on the opposite end of the spectrum. And we respect you for your belief. We respect what you have thought about and your ideology. But I like that we can sit down and talk and have a civil conversation about some of these things and actually love America. I've been around the world and I always come back here. I always see people dying to get in America. I never see anybody dying to leave.
Right.
America is a great country, and it has given us a platform to have podcasts, to be freedom of speech. It's given us a place to have business. I've had Subway franchises, Allstate insurance agencies. Couldn't have done that in some of the countries that I visited, but America is great. I know that sounds like that's a slogan.
It's true.
But we want to keep it that way. And no matter who you are and what side of the aisle you are on, you've got to acknowledge that this is the greatest country in the world.
Absolutely. Yeah. It starts there, and then...
And we don't want to lose it.
Right.
That's what's important.
Well, and that's the thing. The manipulation of people's freedom is where the downfall starts.
Yeah.
Whoever's freedom that is. But specifically, in my opinion, because again, from a conservative viewpoint, like you said, we usually are on the deep, we're defensive. We're reactive. Which is okay. I mean, it kind of shows the spirit of Jesus. That's what we're trying to do, to show love. We don't attack. We don't defame. We don't do lawfare. That's just not what we've done ever. This side of the aisle has not done that.
Right.
So I would hope, and I think it's happening. I'm seeing people that are either in the middle or little bit to the left are looking and saying, wait a minute, all this was done to them, but that's not what they're doing back. What we're doing is making America better.
Right.
Forget all that other garbage that happened that they did to us over the last 4 years and even previous to that. We just want to make America better for everybody.
Absolutely.
So that's what it's about. Right? So cool. All right. So, and you did, so I know you just said the Subway thing.
Yeah.
And I know you said he was on podcast number 6. All that information's on there. You were you were the youngest
Subway franchisee.
In
the history of America, there were over 30,000 stores at that time. There were double that now, but somebody has eclipsed my record. But 1994, I was the youngest Subway franchisee.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
I hear you. That's pretty cool. So after we're done here, we're going to go get some lunch. I'm going to see you more Subway. Probably not Subway, but anyway, that's pretty cool. So anything else you want to share about any of your ministries or about Faith and Freedom or anything specifically before we that's kind of where we were going to go, and that's kind of where it went.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, cool. All right, listen, I appreciate you being here.
Thanks.
I appreciate your time. Every man who comes on here, and it's a man's pod. Oh, so it was suggested that the women behind the godly men, we start doing interviews with them.
Okay.
But the problem is, the person that suggested the first person should be who? Who should be the first person?
The godly woman behind you.
She won't do it.
Ah.
So we're going to have to convince her. She'll be watching this. And I've called it out a couple times, but
Still,
she's not going to do it. No. So listen, if
would she at least come and stand behind you during the, so we could at least acknowledge
that would
her?
be a start. That would be kind of cool.
I think we need to acknowledge her and say, this is the great woman behind the great man.
Well, the great woman behind me.
I think you ought to do that.
Well, it was kind of a neat concept because it is kind
Willy
of cool.
Ace. Come on.
Miss Willy Ace. I love it. Oh. I'm going to share that with her before she sees this. I'm going to tell her you call her Miss Willy Ace and see what she says.
Oh my God. I might drive her away. I'm trying to get her in here.
Yeah. But because behind every listen, without us, and not every man that comes through here is married, and not every godly man is married. Not every godly man will necessarily be married if they're not called to be.
Sure.
But they make us better.
Mm-hmm.
They make us who we are. Without them, without my wife, without Donna, I 100% guarantee, of course not without God,
sure.
But I wouldn't be God would not be doing the things.
Well, we won't go into all the detail, but what you shared with me before, we went on about how much Donna impacted you and how you got to this county as a result of all of that. She was used of God.
Absolutely. Yep. And still is on a daily basis. So, and I know yours is too.
Absolutely. I wouldn't have none of the stuff that I have without my wife. I mean, she's been the backbone behind all my businesses. And now we're working on our friendship. So we've had a partnership. I want to just share this. Okay. I don't know if you have time to put it in or not. Yeah. But we've had an amazing partnership. Right. And men, you do not want to be in partnership with your wife. You also want to be in friendship.
Yep.
And so Celeste and I have had a great partnership. We have done all our businesses very well. And I could not have done them without her. But over the last couple of years, we saw our friendship drift. Our partnership became stronger, but our relationship, our friendship began to drift. So we had to reevaluate that. So you may be in that reevaluation mode or in a mode where you need to evaluate it and get it back to the way it should be.
It's your best
and
friend.
You have to be intentional in it. If you don't, it will drift apart.
Absolutely.
Other things will get in there, and instead of building up, you start building out.
Yeah.
And so we found we were building a great thing out, but we needed to be building it up. And so we have to be intentional in that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, maybe she could be the first guest.
I'll ask her.
Yeah. Well, she can't. We still got to get Donna.
Donna's got to be first.
Yeah. Maybe she can be second.
Or sixth. And then I can bring her back for 130.
That would be, no, it's
206.
No. Yeah, 206, right?
206. 206.
I wasn't good in math either. I was not good in Spanish or math. No,
you still passed. So 206, y'all hold on to that. That's mine. 206. Okay. So we'll bring some less.
Okay. Now I got to get 100 other women to come through here. That's great. Okay, that's hilarious. So, but yeah, all right. So there you go. There's the plug for the very first female to come on The Greater Purpose of a Godly Man. Well, this is the Greater Purpose podcast, but the men's conference they can't come to where they're not allowed. So we don't allow any women in
right,
unless they're cooking. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding out there. So you did have more to share. You just didn't know it.
I didn't know it.
That's cool. So anyways.
God's good.
Yeah, he's awesome. God is amazing. He does amazing things. So listen, make sure you share those things. Share the amazing things he's doing in your life. Make sure somebody knows that. Don't just plug through and do your thing and serve God and do everything you're doing without somebody making people aware that, hey, these are things that God's doing. We want to make sure that we trumpet that, not because we're involved in it, like look at me, but because God did it. Look at him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it needs to be about. I mean, when the podcast, the men's ministry, your ministry, the things you do, you're always pointing back to Christ. We're always pointing back to Christ. So cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate you. Dr. Brintley.
Thank you.
For the 103rd. We'll see you back on 206. Right?
I'm coming. Yeah, I'm back. Put me down.
Make sure you share, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Put some comments in there. Don't forget the sprint. Make sure you put the what you think the vehicle is. Maybe there'll be a prize for you, or maybe there won't be. I don't know. But anyway,
Or maybe you can come and sit in person
yeah,
at the car show,
Yeah.
at the men's conference.
Right.
The date's April
April 26th. Yeah, April 26th. By the way, at the men's conference, besides the prizes for the car show, we have some just great door prizes and giveaways. We'll have some refreshments. We're not doing the big refreshment thing we did last year. There'll be food trucks there for lunch.
Okay, cool.
We do feed the speakers ahead of time, that kind of thing. So it's going to be great. Just a great lineup and some good people there. So we'll be looking forward to that. So join us for that. Faith and Freedom in September. Just keep plugging away, doing what God wants you to do. The scripture is that we've adopted, and we know that God causes all things to work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. You got to love God.
Amen.
Okay. And it's got to be according to his purpose.
Absolutely.
So keep doing that out there. We thank you for being here for the Greater Purpose Podcast, and we will see you again next week. God bless you.
Thank you.